What up, people? It's your boy, Master Chudy, out here with another review. And so I've been meaning to do this one for a while since I watched it because I thought this was a very interesting take. So, as we know, Night of the Living Animated, which is, basically frame for frame, word for word retelling of Night of the Living Dead in animated form, was released. And, I, like most people, didn't really think much of it. The animation was not that good. And I don't think people really wanted this film, but people thought, hey, why not? It'd be interesting to see it in an animated version. And I will have to say that while the animation was clunky, um, it was a really engaging film. And that's really due to the fact that the voice acting I thought in this was absolutely phenomenal. I think the voice acting really made this a lot more engaging than what I thought it would be. And it goes to show you that voice acting can really save a film. I won't get into the how should I say? I won't get into the plot because I'm sure a lot of people have seen that old 1968 Night of the Living Dead. And I recommend it, but I will give the pros and the cons. And basically, what this film I think does a little bit better. Well, I'll get into the pros and cons of this film. Basically, sorry. So obviously, the pros of this movie, as I mentioned, goes to its voice acting. The voice acting was fantastic. All the characters, all of them, and their voice actors did a very good job. And I think that it gives the characters a lot more personality that the 1968 film did not give. And this was, of course, you can owe it to the fact of acting back then little stiff. This was something of a new medium. This was really the first zombie horror film. So, breaking new ground. How are you going to act? What are you going to do? Not a lot of money was put into this. $114,000 budget in 1968. Very, very, very homemade film. And so you can only do so much with the actors that you got. However, though, with this animated film, I'm thinking that if it was done live action with this type of training and passion of these voice actors 52 years ago, 53 years ago, you'd definitely get a even more successful film than it already was back then. And it's incredible, really. Um, Dule Hill, who voiced Ben, was very good. I think that um, while we can give props and definitely should give props to Dwayne Jones, who was Ben back then, and he definitely broke ground. I think Dule Hill definitely offers his own unique flair to the role. Yes. Also, you have Catherine Isabel who voiced Barbara, and I thought that I don't think there was really any difference, but I would say that you definitely get more of her. You get her more in a catatonic state than how you would expect her as in terms of being just panicked in the old film. So I think in this case, you can feel like this is a woman who's really just shocked by her surroundings. Um, Tom and Judy, very good, I would say as well. The voice actors for them, James Rodriguez for Tom and Katie Sackhoff for Judy, very good. Really liked them. They felt like a very good couple. And that's basically that from that you basically get sorry you basically get the idea that they're real people in this aspect. Not that they weren't real people in the '60s film, but they add more gravitas. Harry, who we see and who we see constantly go back and forth with Ben. His voice actor was also fantastic as well, and we get to see more of the conflict that I think was even that's even more stressed within the film as well. So yeah, the voice acting, as I said, fantastic, really good, and it's what really makes this film, I think, a little bit more engaged, as engaging. Let me not say more engaging, but as engaging as its live action counterpart from over 50 years ago. This will also go as my con, but a pro that I felt that the that gave this movie at least hooked me in for a bit was the animation. Not the quality of animation, but just the fact that it was animated itself. You got to really see a lot of things accentuated a lot better. Like, the death of Tom and Judy was definitely a lot more tragic because we got to see exactly what happened. You got to see how they died, basically. Um, and it was very gruesome, actually. Very gruesome, indeed. And the same thing you can say about Harry and his wife as well. And you can see how they died with their daughter turning. You can see what happened with Ben when he went down to the basement to stay away from the zombies, and he had to pretty much double tap both Harry and his wife and kill their daughter as well. Um, it really sears into you, and I think another thing that I forgot to mention was that as Tom and Judy died, you got to see the zombies just eating their charred corpses, and just seeing the feral zombies in their element. Yeah, like you can imagine people scared by, the zombies just meandering around in the 68 film. Like, imagine if they were able to show these zombies just eating flesh and doing zombie things as we would see them as now in the modern world today. It'd be a whole lot of creepy. So I think the animation really did it justice about being animated and showing things that the live action film in 68 was constrained and what it couldn't show. And I'm sure even the censors back then would probably prevent it anyway. But then, of course, we get to the con. The animation itself, it was very hit or miss. It wasn't bad, but there were times that you could tell that it was almost flash animation to going to some King of the Hill like animation to going to some fluid aspects of animation that could be choppy. That it was all over the place, basically. So, yeah, that was really the only con of this film, and it does drag it out a bit. The one other good thing I will say about this film that is that you get to really, I think it exemplifies the hopelessness and the parts that hit hard in the original film hit somewhat a bit harder in this animated film, such as the death of Tom and Judy, and of course the death of Ben was it really hits you like that. And I think the ending is pretty good where as the sheriff is talking with his boys, talking about as they just killed an unknowingly killed an innocent man. Um, the themes be obvious, but at the same time, you just hear them having kind of a conversation like they didn't even know what they did, but it makes Ben's situation all the more tragic as opposed to after the credit scene as they're talking. You can just hear the corpses burning, and it's the usual business as opposed to in the '68 film it just goes and fades to black into the credits and whatnot. So yeah, that's it. So while I do give this the animation itself and what it does, I would give this like a 6 out of 10. I mean, I wouldn't say you would watch it, but if you do happen to feel interested in watching it, I wouldn't say no. There are things that you can learn and things you can compare, and that's pretty much it. So I just want to give a short review video. So thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the notifications to make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these reviews for you, the people. I just want to discuss some animated films and get your views on them. So thank you all for watching, and I have to have more videos up when I can. Peace.